The vision has to be so alive. Passion has to be there for us to manifest. Then it happens automatically. Because when we have passion, then we are automatically dreaming about it. We automatically talk about it with a lot of enthusiasm and excitement to anybody who comes across. So this week of manifestation that we're learning, being in elevated feelings and thoughts is all there is. That is called the state of being. What is the state of being that you are with in small things to big things? Slowly with meditation, we change our state of being. How am I with respect to this person every day that I meet? To the office that every day I go in, how is my state of being? Do you feel one more day or do you feel excitement? Can you develop that friendship with everything that you are spending your day with? Most important with the people that we are constantly interacting. So gratitude, heart elevation, and now visualization, that newsletter that you might read. Visualization about things that we want to have in our life, things that we're passionate about. Because only when you're passionate about something can you drive up the feeling in your body, knowingly or unknowingly. When we're passionate about something, then of course, when we meet anyone, then we're talking very, very actively. We are talking about every event that is how it is related to our passion. And when we're talking, we are driving up all that deep feeling and emotion. And then the more you do that, and the more that is the signal that we're putting out to the universe, dear friends. So in the meditation, yesterday I talked about, as part of that creation meditation, the segment is there where you're doing heart elevation, anapanasati, then we have this visualization segment. We were dreaming about that thing that we would like to have in our life. As if you are in that new life right now. You got to put yourself at the center of that new life and then visualize and dream. So I said, affirm the goal and then visualize. But prior to that, I also said, affirm your empowering beliefs. It's a way to reprogram or empower beliefs. Reprogramming things that we always felt we are limited with. I don't have resources. This disease that is there cannot be cured because it's good. I got to live with it because everybody said it's a lifelong thing. Those limiting beliefs that we have already formed with ourselves. My business is going to be, in COVID time, it's going to have a tough time to succeed in the business. All those are called limiting beliefs, and for which we find a possibility of someone having achieved the opposite of it. Anytime in the, anywhere, anytime, anywhere in the world, if you find a possibility of having achieved that against the odds of the same condition that you are going through, that means all you have to do is to find one business that is successful during COVID time. I can tell you many. Reliance. Look at Reliance Geo. Against great odds, they raised tons and tons of crores of money. Every company said we can't grow, but these guys are just growing. Any business, doesn't matter. We take an example and say, if they can grow, I can grow. Because it's a possibility. So when I mentioned about, can you affirm your empowering beliefs that otherwise were holding you back against this goal, if you want to do service, but then you have this limiting belief that my family members are not going to let me go out. Right? It happens, right? Family members are not allowing me to go out to do that service. But deep inside is what you want. Of course, through meditation, you start expressing about it. Self-expression comes, you start expressing, because you're going to be positively firm about asking what you want. But then deep inside this belief, you ask on one side, but inside you feel a state of being is about, I am going to ask, but they're not going to agree. Deep inside, this is the state of being we have. That means it's not changed in our subconscious, unconscious mind. It's only consciously you're asking. So that limiting belief that my family members are not allowing me, now you got to also work on identify those limiting beliefs. Then actually we can work about it. Meditation over a period will resolve it. It will resolve it. Over a period, we continue to go and then subconsciously reprogram it. But an exercise like this, where you're visualizing, if you identify it specifically, there are 3, 4, 5 things that are holding me back. It's always great to work on this limiting belief. What do you do in this case? Look at your friend circle. Look at in these other service circles and see who have been like that, always been stuck in a bigger joint family or whatever, that didn't they couldn't have that freedom, the thing that they couldn't have freedom, but today they're very happily traveling around and able to actually make that contribution. Just take that 1 or 2 people, individuals, so look at them, who has done that? And then say, if Sarala can do it, I can do it. Where you can't find an example, it's fine. Then if you don't find an example as an inspiration, then of course the universal knowledge is there to supporting us, that I'm the creator and I'm the architect. I'm this field with infinite potential and capability. So there is no need for me to doubt any possibility. That's the empowering belief, right? That's empowering belief. In meditation, since we are becoming that greater intelligence, which is powering everything, so we become that greater intelligence. So that means we are gaining our thought power, we're gaining the visualization power, we are receiving all the possibilities because we are that. So we change our state of being from small thing to big things. Things like just traffic. We have to change our state of being from bad traffic to neutral traffic to positive about it. If we become positive about it, basically what do? We stop commenting about traffic when people are discussing about it. We don't participate in it and then say, yes, add fuel to it, number one, right? And then number two, if you want to really be in a smoothly sailing in these busy roads, let's have a positive impression of it. That's all. Because many times where you would have gone through, right? Very ziffy you've gone through. So just have impression. So then that 40 minutes of the morning can become 20 minutes for you over a period of time. Believe me, it's how it is. It's how it is. A state of being about parking spaces, right? We all dread to go into the cities and say, there's no parking. People live in Bangalore and Delhi and Bombay, they know it. But they change the state of being about it. So we slowly change. We change. Food, what we receive, what we having. We change the state of being about having a positive feeling towards it. Now, how do we get the positive? The gratitude. Our gratitude, if we can find the great moments for everything that's coming in our way, then that's an indirect way of doing it. So we don't need to do anything extra, dear friends. We are in our meditation. We're doing gratitude, we're doing heart elevation. This creative visualization, we can add in as a segment in your meditation. At the end of meditation, just sit down and then visualize nice, beautiful things about things that are very, very important to you. You don't sit and visualize about traffic, but if you have a longer goal, a larger goal, that's so important, right? Which you've been dreaming about, wanting to have it. So you can set those, right? And then feelings are the important aspect. If you're not getting feelings, then you know that you are on the wrong side, meaning you want to take a long time. You want to take a long time because it's an intellectual exercise. That means you're not passionate about it. That means you're deep inside, it is not going to give you a lot of happiness because you're not getting that feeling as part of this thing, that new life that you imagine, dream about. And that's the time to look at it and say, maybe something else. And maybe something else, not me. And a lot of times, why we don't get feelings, if we have achieved anything already, right? Then we don't feel like doing it again. Suppose you came into your company and then you are already have 10 years experience. And then you've gone through, there are several smaller customers, smaller projects, all that you've done. Now a company asks you to go back and do what you've done 6 years ago. It gets boring, right? It gets boring. You don't want to do it. Ideally speaking, you will talk about it and then somehow you get out of it. Because it gets boring. Where there's no learning, it's obviously boring. So inside we know it. That's why when you're asked for something, because everything is an experience, and if you already learned that experience and had gained knowledge through that experience and you try to repeat it, it's not going to come. Wanting to have an house is a desire that you may have merely because somebody next door is having a house and then on this side is having a house. So you just have a pressure from home that, hey, you also have such a big, beautiful house. Even though inside for you, big house or small house wouldn't matter. For you, now you want to spend that time somewhere else. Now, when you put that as a house as a visualization thing, because you've been having it and then it's somewhere at the top of your conscious mind, because that is there, it is there with you, and you start visualizing, that feeling won't come. Why? Because you might have had it in a past life. You might have had lived in a big bungalow in the past life, so you don't get that feeling. This is one of the reasons why in our friend circles, when they have resonated with something, but we may not respond to resonate to, because we've had that experience in the past. When we had that experience, we don't wish for it again. Conscious mind, because it's a we got distracted, may not know, but inside, deep inside, we will know it. Then that is expressed through feeling, dear friends. So this is a way to sort of understand what is important, what's not important, is also can be understood while through meditation clarity. But where we're not clear, start somewhere, and then if you're able to sustain the feelings on a day 1, day 3, day 5, day 7, day 10, day 15, that means that if it's only increasing, because that means you are wishing and seeking deep inside, you're seeking for that experience, and so go at it. You go at it. So let's go once again into our meditation today. This is the concept that we're going to discuss deep in the 3-day program, November 6th to 8th, that we're going to discuss this deep, this manifestation, as a way to essentially move ourselves from an old state of being to a new state of being by actually utilizing some of these tools. And we're going to rewind the technology that we have learned and then apply it, work on some of the goals and beliefs and all that. Difference. But however, since from now to November 6th, a lot of time is away, so we understood to an extent, so start working on it. Today we'll do once again our meditation plus visualization. And then how often you do it, it's up to you. When I was looking for my company acquisition, I was doing every day. I would miss my breakfast, but not miss the meditation. Every day, an hour of meditation, combining about 15 minutes of visualization. I was doing it every day. And we do it. Sometimes we were having experienced something, got it, then we just relax for some time. Then when again we get into the act, wanting to go after our next thing that we wish to have and dream for about, right? We do it. It's a cycle. Long-term meditators, they have this question, why do I need to visualize? Not necessary. We'll get to a state of being where we're so happy and content with what we have. Automatically, whatever that you are in wakeful time wishing for, asking for, it happens for some people. That's fine too. It's just a different nature of reality. So one are happy, and then as the things come, you take it. And then sometimes you go into this game a lot faster. Many times you go into this game without even knowing we're dreaming on a regular basis. Without we know that we're dreaming. That's all it is. So relax yourself, dear friends. Sit comfortably. So our meditation is heart elevation. Fill up your heart with any heightened emotion initially. For that, you close your eyes and keep your hands in the chest area, and then follow my guidance actively. When you do this heart elevation process of feeling love and gratitude for people around, for the environment, for the animals, then we're sending a very high vibration. It is also helping brain become slow down. We make the brain slow down pretty quickly when we do this heart elevation. It is okay if you're not feeling that emotion. You're not able to open the heart. When I say open your heart, I don't know, expand your heart. If you're not able to feel it, it's fine. Over a period of time, when we become more sensitive to the feelings, then we suddenly will feel that emotion of compassion, I don't know, kindness, gratitude, whatever that is important, that you are able to live, you can pick up any emotion of that. So feeling heart elevation, feeling a heightened emotion, we do. And then going to, for the know of your new breath mindfulness meditation, where we want to empty our mind, so we observe breath. Close your eyes, fingers into fingers, press your hands comfortably in your lap, cross your feet at ankles, and then observe normal, natural breath. Close your eyes, observe anywhere in your nose. The breath is going and coming out, and as you observe, breath becomes lighter, shorter, for many people. It becomes lighter, shorter. For many people notice it, many may not notice it. And then as we become lighter, shorter, our breath, our thoughts in our mind also reducing, slowing down, become less and less and less. Finally, there'll be a point where we become empty. Breath becomes zero. That's the time you're also becoming empty completely. We switch to the other side. Our goal is to be observing the breath and then slowly becoming empty. As the breath becomes lighter, the mind becomes empty. We don't have to do anything to control the thought. Instead, we observe the breath. Dear friends, the whole duration of the meditation, we're doing observation of the breath and then emptying ourselves. I'm guiding in the process to help us. So do that. And then as soon as this breath mindfulness meditation is over, music will change, asking us to visualize and dream about that goal. Take a minute to visualize, to bring up a visualization sequence as if the goal has happened in your life. As if the goal has happened in your life. If you wanted to do world travel, and then as you're doing the world travel, how is your life changing? What are people telling you after you come back with the travel? How are people receiving you? What are they telling you? Suppose you've gone on a 6-month travel in the world, right? How did your life change? How did you experience every moment of it? What people are telling you when you're planning for it, what are the people telling you? How grateful you are for the whole thing that's coming together. All of that, as if you're doing it, as if it has happened in your life. How will your world change? Because you finish the 6-month travel, you understand about the world so much, you become so empathetic about every person in a place. That's what happens if we go and meet people. Our consciousness expands significantly when we meet and travel. So relax yourself. So visualize it as if that thing has happened for you. That segment goes on for about 8-9 minutes. After that, we relax and we surrender, and then we express gratitude. I'll guide. So just relax and surrender. Soak in all the energies, because the more we feel and create, a lot of energy gets produced. It's an energy science. And then we soak in all the energy into body, we surrender, relax for some time, and then express gratitude. This is how meditation goes. It's a great time to understand what many call spiritual quotient. How every time we experience that one with that field, how we expand ourselves to feel that we are much larger than limited body with the limited competition, with this limited environment. How we feel, how it helps us to become larger and larger and larger, so that we drop the differences with everything that we may have, and so that we multiply the experience of our life. This quantum field, as we understand, this that consciousness, that Brahmapada that exists everywhere. When we become one, if we are energy and we're all connected, individually we have a consciousness, individual is consciousness, showing up as matter in this body, this life, these events. But when we become energy, where we withdraw our attention of the thought and then become that energy, then we are connected automatically to everybody, isn't it? That's the quantum field statement, that we are connected to each other. So we are connected to each other in that field, in that one energy field, right? Because as energy, we're connected. So the feeling, dear friends, let's see, once we become one, then is anything outside of us? That's a question to ask. Once we become one, is anything outside of us? Everything is inside of us, isn't it? If you are standing outside your house and you are looking for something in the house, you know that your house is outside, external to you. Then you're looking for something, you want to experience somebody outside, you are outside, and then there is a lot of people inside, you're saying something. To get to listen to them, you don't know, it takes time. If you go into the house, then they're all part of you. You are inside, right? It's like that. So we elevate ourselves from the body. We become everything, that field. So everyone is inside of us. That's why when we go into this meditation, we start experiencing that whole, like that blackness extending forever, as if everybody is engulfed into it. That sea of ocean, that ocean is there completely empty and forever. It exists for infinity. So we feel as a whole. Any transcendental experience one may have, that everything is with you, is that feeling, dear friend. So we move from separateness to oneness. We slowly shift our state of being from being separate from everything, including, we'll slowly get there, but including the bugs that we may see at home, right? We all will slowly practice and practice and practice and get there. The more we experience it, the more we say, what has that cockroach has done? What has the lizard has done? Whatever that is, right? We recognize that they exist, we exist. We recognize that people with all consciousness exist at their own level of awareness. There is body awareness, there is body and mind awareness, there's body, mind, intellect awareness for some set of people, body, mind, intellect, and soul or energy awareness for many other people. Each one is living in their own consciousness, and we recognize that they all exist, coexist. Everyone is inside. So separation is to oneness. At the end, that's where we move, state of being. Second one, when this field, if we still recollect, we are deep inside as energy. Wave, we become waves of possibilities. And the waves of possibilities means what? I mean, my body, my atoms, my molecules, your body, your molecules, and then this nature, this thing, that animal, everything is waves of possibility, right? They're all energy waves. And they all are tangled, quantum entanglement, it's called in quantum physics, quantum entanglement. That's so intricately, it's a big mess out there. We're all connected, right? So any part of me and you, me means my thoughts, my feelings, and you and your thoughts, you feelings, somebody else's, and all of it can come together and then become an event. So this is infinite possibilities exist. You understand with me? You're with me. The infinite possibilities exist because in the energy we're all mixed up, and any combination is possible, isn't it? There's no specific thing that this combination, that combination. Think energy. So there is unlimited possibility, infinite possibilities in this field because we are at that we are in that energy state. So when any possibility exists, then what do? We move from a fixed mind state to a growth mind state. In a business language, we go into a growth mind state. What is a growth mind state? When a business asks and say, hey, this client is coming and is going to give us a $500 million revenue, can we support it? You will first think, yes, it is a possibility, isn't it? Even though you've not done anything with that client, who you only experience very small business and clients, but you have to support a large client, a possibility. First thing we see is, yes, it's possible. We come in with that thought. If you had very, very deep, you fought a lot with a partner, and you said it to yourself that that's it, it's over. It is absolutely not possible. You concluded it. But then as you meditate regularly, we see there is a possibility, isn't it, to reconcile back again? Because at the end of the day, they're all energies combined. So wouldn't we be putting that energy together and then manifest it as a physical event called relationship for some more years? So we become open, we become growth minded, where we start receiving everything that is coming in a way within sense of open mind. We stop closing our doors. We stop closing our doors. Even at the morning, peak hour, if you're stepping out into driving to office, we stop closing the doors and say, today is going to be another 1.5 hour drive for me. And so you just don't say anything. You become open. Small things to big things, dear friends. Nothing is linear in our life, right? Now we make everything to be linear. There are people who are doing a fast track in their careers. People who are doing fast track with the business. How is that? Because they think this way. They think everything is possible. Fixed mind to growth mind is coming because in meditation, we are recognizing and we're becoming one with that unlimited possibility field. So, what is it scientifically translating into? When we become that field, then we are receiving a lot of signal. We're receiving a lot of insight that SVBs are talking about, right? All the greatest, whether it's Ramanujam, whether it is a great musician, some other people are quote, and then all of them go into a trance state, whether you call it a bliss state or trance state, that ones with that energy field state, emptiness state. When you go into that state, when you're becoming that energy as a field of possibilities, and then as you're connecting with that higher emotions, then we are receiving signals. Our pineal gland antenna becomes an antenna in the pineal gland, sixth center. And so we receive, like a TV antenna, receive information. And so that information, insights are kept as, and then we suddenly start seeing a lot of insights in our life, in our solution. When you say, some of you say synchronicity sees, things happen, you know. When my daughter was applying for her admission, very late in the game, into one of the good universities in London, she started so late, but then least SV guys that sent us and wrote me a note saying that here is a 4-day course on publishing. And she did an internship already, and then she was not interested, but then she was meditating, and then somewhere they told her second time, Alek, it might help you. And then she just took that course. First session, they're talking about how is the impact of COVID on publishing industry. She didn't know what it meant for, but she took it anyway. The same evening, even though she applied late, it has it that because she is wishing and sending so much strong signal, normally they don't take an interview, but they organized an interview, even though she came late and she still doesn't meet. And academically, the criteria for this university, she did organize a meeting. An interview organized, and the interviewer asking her this question. That's so very morning, she learned it in the publishing course. She's open to the possibility that even though I'm going in late, I will still make it. And then when you open to the possibility, that course that came in the way, she received it. See, universe is sending the signal. That information is there, and then we catch them. This is what we call synchronicities. How synchronously that I had to receive that email from Sir, then I forward to her, and then she also signs up and then opens it up, and then first day they talk about whatever that session they talk about it. Very answer that she needed to give it into that interview, and the interview felt, wow, you know a lot of stuff. Of course, she knows a lot of stuff, but you need to be specifics. So this is how we open to the possibility, dear friends, and when things happen, right? I'm sure we'll learn some stories. In the COVID time, people manifested great jobs and great things. Unlimited potential. Third one, dear friends, my reality by me. If quantum physics squarely is saying our observation collapse the possibility, if a group of people, a group observation collapse a group possibility, an individual observation collapse an individual possibility, and when we become individual, we become that whole field, then we're no longer individual, we become everything, right? When we become everything and everybody, and then we are creating from there, then how could it be that somebody else outside of us is creating something for us in our life? So blame becomes ownership. We no longer blame people, we no longer complain, we no longer judge, and then keep looking for somewhere the greener pasture, and then we start taking responsibility. Our blame becomes ownership because we so deeply understand that thoughts create reality. My reality is by me, but not somebody else. Anything. Whether I get into an accident, whether I grow my business greatly, whether I have a broken relationship, or a beautiful, expansive relationship with a large family, it's all in me, the way I feel and think. Many people say, I'm trying to meditate. My people at home are not allowing me. Increase your intent, dear friends. No rush, no hurry. In spirituality, there's no hurry, no worry. But the third one, no waste of time. Never hurry, never worry, but no waste of time. No hurry. Continue to meditate, increase your intent. Believe that you are that larger field. So there is enough power for you. Your thoughts will influence that in a way they're going to support you. They will organize themselves to support you. Many have said that. Organize it. My reality by me. All it means, if people are not listening to you, means that you got to increase your thought power, word power, increase it. Our words, the power will come as we are increasing our energy, more open, more will drop our feelings of separation as a people, then it becomes more and more power will is received again. Abundance everywhere. How much is there in this universe? Infinity, isn't it? How many resources are in this universe? If that energy is infinite, can the resources be finite? I want to ask ourselves, if that energy is infinite, can the resources be finite? Can there be limited jobs? Can there be limited amount of money? Is there a limited experience that we have to rush in? Suppose a movie is open, right? Do we have to rush in and then compete and then doing that thing as part of the movie when it got released? Or we can take a slow stance to go in and slowly. Do we have to rush in? The rush in comes because we feel like we're missing an experience. We don't miss an experience. We don't miss things because we feel we are limited. Competition is important for excelling ourselves. We got to compete with ourselves individually. Great companies have done that. They're always, there's no measure against them. Against them, we motivated, inspired, but we don't use competition to kill the competition. That's not what it is for. The killing the competition is a scarce consciousness that, okay, there is limited. I have to win and I have to drag the other person down. Holding information close to the chest, it is a competition. I have to hold it closely so that company depends on me. Scarcity consciousness. If I tell everything I know, then my value is not theirs. I might lose. Scarcity. Friends, if the energy is infinite, there is abundance of stuff that is there. Over a period, we only know that our markets only grew, our incomes grew, our general well-being grew. Everything is growing, isn't it? People are living less than 50 years, 100 years ago. Now the average lifespan has increased, right? People used to take 30 years to build a home. Now they build a home in 10 years. Everything is always growing. We just don't notice it and we feel like there is limited. So we move from scarcity to abundance, dear friends. And the last one, there is this higher intelligence helping us. Remember this point. As much as we have full control, as much as we have everything, in Hindu culture, it's easy to understand, right? There is something higher, intelligence always there, right? And there is helping us. And it is the same for here too. This quantum field of intelligence is there. Our body of 25 million cells are produced in the body. Neither you nor know how it's produced, where they're used, where they're utilized. So is the case with these billions of stars. So there is some intelligence powering this universe. We can't be that thing and say there's nothing exists beyond the life and then it's all bones and molecules. Then come on, think about it. Think about it. There is higher intelligence is there, very synchronously, very coherently organized this whole universe in a very beautiful way, just the way our body, just the way the tree producing that plant, the tree in front of us by the morning, in front of us, so many flowers blossom. So it's all happening. So there is some intelligence is there. That is that greater universal consciousness. So take help. It's always paying attention. That's the reason many accident we say, I just missed it by little bit. Otherwise, my eye would have gone. Just browse through. Who is paying attention to that? Why does it happen for so many people so many times? Because the higher intelligence is always paying attention to see that we experience more in life, dear friends. So, dear friends, when we understand the spiritual quotient, the more we meditate, the more we experience the synchronicities, that oneness, wholeness is when we can actually take all of this in. It's not an intellectual exercise. We got to meditate more and more. Then we move into oneness, we move into growth minded, we take ownership, we feel abundance, stop competing, stop pulling people down, and then we start listening into our heart, which is that higher intelligence. Asking for help, stopping the mind chatter, early morning sitting there. So then we listen into our heart and then we receive the signal, that message, that information. And then so we utilize it in our life. It feels great that we all are meditating. We all are becoming a better version of ourselves day by day, every day. People ask how long to meditate. Now you should have an answer by now. Do you want, when we are in the wakeful body, then we are in this wakeful consciousness, then we are in the limited self in this body. When you are in the meditation, you are this greater self with this expansive feel. So how long you want to spend as what? If you have an opportunity for 3 hours to be in that expansive field, you want to be that? Or you want to be only the limited self? Choice is ours. Choice is ours. So, dear friends, meditation is harnessing that greater intelligence into us. As much, the more we meditate, the more good it is. And the more we expand our consciousness, of course, then we move into a service consciousness, because then everybody is us, and we start naturally extending our helping hand to everybody. And I'm really grateful. I'm very grateful to all the great leaders in this forum, starting with Karthikeyan sir, starting with Ramani sir, SVB sir, Mukesh, Satyavati madam. So many people have been actively promoting, and we all are together promoting, we're all are together creating greater intents in our meditations. It feels great. Thank you so much for your attention. Yes, sir, Karthikeyan sir.
Thank you very much. Every day becoming better than the previous day. And meditation is becoming really very elevating. Really, every day you make us believe that meditation does miracles. In every way, yes. SQ becomes more important today. See, when people who are higher positions in government or public sector, people who are being interviewed, earlier IQ was important. Later on, they won't know that's not enough. EQ is important, that is emotional question, because leadership requires better emotional balance, equilibrium. Now, more and more people are looking for SQ now, how spiritual you are, because then, everything else follows. Spiritual, scientific understanding. A beautiful, Chandra. Very nice. Every day there is a lot of learning, experience. It can go on forever.
Thank you, sir. Karthikeyan sir, your SQ to PQ to EQ to SQ. Yes, that's a great way of bringing out the importance of. I never understood when Patri sir used to say meditation gives everything in life. And over a period, it slowly understood that it is in all dimensions. And then because truly we are getting to that infinite intelligence. Yes, sir, Ramani sir.
Chandra, Chandra Master, yet another wonderful session today. Just to say that when you were just talking about all of us have to have a goal, we have to have a feeling, and then it's passionate. I'm just reminded what Swami Vivekananda used to say. Take one idea, dream about it, think about it. Let every part of your body, your muscles, your bones, your nerves, the entire system, reverberate with that particular goal and aspiration. Leave all other thoughts behind, and that is the way to succeed. So that focus, once we have that focus, I'm sure we will achieve. Manifestations will happen. Manifestations will happen when we have a clear goal, when we are passionate about it, and we are focused about it. And now what DRK sir said, how people have to slowly get transformed, metamorphosed from IQ to emotional quotient to spiritual quotient. Wonderful transformation. I'm sure everyone is going to benefit out of this kind of, uh, though it's a very brief session, the way it's comprehensive session. It teaches you meditation. It also gives you value inputs. Think about it. So more and more people can start thinking about it and practice. Thank you very much, Chandra. Wonderful session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dear friends. We'll meet back tomorrow.